If you're an executive assistant or virtual assistant, I have a question for you. How many times have you said yes to something when every part of you is screaming, no? Can you squeeze in one more meeting? Sure. Can you do one quick thing before you log off? Absolutely. Can you find me a flight that apparently doesn't exist? Of course. Let me grab my magic wand. We're assistants. We help. We're problem solvers. We're resourceful. We make things happen. And those are our incredible strengths. But here's where it gets a bit tricky. Sometimes being really, really good at helping people can accidentally teach them that we're available for everything, all the time. And eventually, that's exhausting. Hi, I'm Beth, the Joyful Assistant. And today I want to talk to you about 5 boundaries that every executive assistant and virtual assistant needs. Not because we want to become less helpful, but because healthy boundaries actually help us become better strategic partners. So I'm going to give you some actual language that you can use because saying set better boundaries is easy. Knowing what to say on Tuesday afternoon when your executive drops something on you, it's a little bit different. All right, let's get into it. Boundary number 1, your availability. Let's start with this big one. Being responsive does not mean being available 24 hours a day. And this can be especially difficult when you work remotely. Your computer, it's right there. Your phone, right there. Slack, right there. Email, right there. And suddenly, work is everywhere. So you have to decide, when does my workday actually begin? And when does it actually end? Obviously, there are going to be exceptions. Executives travel. Emergencies happen. Big projects happen. But an exception shouldn't quietly become your everyday expectation. So try language like, hey, I'm signing off at 5:30 today. If there's anything you need before tomorrow, send it my way before then, and I'll make sure we're covered. It's warm. It's helpful. It's clear. You don't have to apologize for having to end your workday. All right. Boundary number 2. Not everything is an emergency. Oh, this is a good one. Have you ever noticed how many things become an emergency simply because somebody waited too long? Someone else's urgency can very quickly become your adrenaline. And great assistants are especially susceptible to this because we immediately go into the, I've got it. But before you absorb the panic, ask, what actually needs to happen here? Is this really truly urgent? What happens if it waits until tomorrow? What needs to move if I prioritize this? Instead of automatically saying yes, you can say, absolutely, I can shift my priorities and take care of this. Here's what we will need to move tomorrow. Did you hear the difference? You aren't saying no, you're showing the trade-off. That's strategic support. Boundary number 3, the calendar. My executive assistants already know where I'm going with this one. Can you find 30 minutes on my calendar today? You open the calendar. Meeting, 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 meeting. Maybe there's 7 minutes at 2:15 and they say, right, but can you find me 30? Apparently, executive assistants have the ability to bend that space-time continuum. And somehow you probably can find the 30 minutes. But here is the boundary. Don't make the consequence invisible. Instead of silently rearranging 12 things, try, hey, I can make that happen, but here is what we will need to move. That sentence, that's gold. Because now you're not simply managing a calendar, you're helping your executive make a better decision about their time. That's the difference between being a task taker and becoming that strategic partner. All right, boundary number 4, the quick favor. Virtual assistants, this one is for you. Can you do one tiny thing for me? Famous last words. 3 hours later, 17 browser tabs open. You've emailed 4 people. You're somehow researching something that wasn't remotely a part of the original assignment. Wow. And you're thinking, how did we get here? Scope creep doesn't always happen because someone is taking advantage of you. Sometimes nobody has stopped to define where the boundary actually is. So when the little favor starts growing, communicate. You might say, hey, I am so happy to take this on. It looks like it's becoming a little larger than we originally anticipated. So I want to make sure you still would like me to prioritize it. For a VA who bills hourly or works within a package, you may also need to clarify the additional time for scope. That's not being difficult. That's running your business professionally. All right, boundary number 5, protect your energy. This one may be the most important. You can support someone through stress without absorbing their stress. Your executive is frantic. Your client is upset. Something went wrong, and because you care, you start carrying it too. But your value isn't in becoming frantic with them. Your value is often in being the calmest person in the room. So take the breath, ask the next question, find the next step, stay grounded. I talk a lot about joy, and I don't mean walking around pretending that everything is wonderful. Joy is not ignoring the hard things. It's creating an internal foundation that allows you to navigate hard things without letting every difficult moment completely take you down. Protecting your energy. It helps you show up better for yourself and for the people you support. The big shift. So here's what I want you to remember. Boundaries aren't about becoming less helpful. They're about becoming more intentional. There's a huge difference between, no, I'm not doing that, and yes, we can do that. Here's what it will require. One shuts down the conversation, the other helps create a better decision. And that is where the role of the assistant is changing. The strongest EAs and VAs aren't simply competing tasks. They're anticipating. They're communicating. They're protecting priorities. They're connecting those dots. They're helping leaders understand the consequences of their choices. That's what I call becoming that human connector. And in a world where AI can handle more and more tasks, these human skills become even more valuable. Your challenge? All right, here is your challenge for this week. Don't try to suddenly create 27 new boundaries. Pick one. Maybe it's logging off at a reasonable time. Maybe it's showing the trade-off instead of automatically absorbing another urgent request. Maybe it's speaking up when a quick favor becomes that 3-hour project. Just one. And then notice what happens. Because every time you honor a healthy boundary, you're teaching the people around you how to work with you. And you're teaching yourself something too. My energy, it matters. Oh my gosh, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 5 boundaries is the hardest for you? Availability, emergencies, calendars, scope creep, or protecting your energy? Tell me below, because I guarantee you are not the only EA or VA struggling with this. And if boundaries and protecting your energy are something you'd like to work on more deeply, Pillar 1, reset energy and boundaries, is a part of my complete Joy First framework. I'll put it in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, come join me. We're talking about joy boundaries, confidence, becoming a human connector, and occasionally the completely ridiculous things and our executives and our clients ask their assistants to do. So again, I'm Beth, the Joyful Assistant. Please protect your energy, know your value, and as always, keep sparkling.